Gonna have a couple of tough questions. Just first off, it was a special day. We had some special visitors here. We had some. We always talk about honoring the brown and gold, and that a big part of the reason why I came here is knowing the history of this place and all the good players that have come before, and to be able to have Bill Garnett here today, Chris Engler, and then Mike Jackson, Mark Rapp, AJ's always here, but to have that group of guys here that back in '82 and '83, they found a way to win 2 WAC championships, found a way to win two games in the NCAA, 1 game in the NCAA tournament each year, and for those guys to connect with our guys and to really talk about what it took for those guys to win a conference championship, and the struggles that they had and how they had to go through, but it was their love for one another and just how connected they were. And I think that's a big part of why we're in the position we're in, is that got a special group of guys that are really connected, that really care and love one another, and you can see that how they play. And I thought the Colorado State game, when you went back and watched it, I thought from a defensive standpoint we were really good. We had a couple spells or a couple plays where we broke down a little bit, but to hold a team that's one of the better offensive teams in the country to 37%, I thought that we could definitely overreact, and the guys really had the after that rivalry game to come back and to have the mindset needed to play against a very, very talented Nevada team on a quick turnaround, and knowing what our schedule is coming up, and giving them Thursday off, to where we had to prepare yesterday and today to make sure that we were ready for Sherfield and Cambridge and those guys. I thought that we were really connected against Colorado State defensively, and I thought we were that again tonight, being able to hold a team that's really good offensively, really hard to guard, the 36.7%. That's what gives you a chance to win games the way we want it. And I thought that from an offensive standpoint, we did some things. We changed the starting lineup, and that was nothing from what Wenzel didn't do. I mean, Wenzel did a good job guarding Roddy in that last game, but I just felt like where we were at in terms of when you have X and Noah both coming off the bench, it's hard to give those guys the minutes they need. And I really felt like down the stretch here, we need those 2 guys and their minutes and their ability to play off the balance, to play off the ball screen, to take some of the pressure off of Maldo and Graham. And I thought you saw that tonight. I thought both those guys played well. Noah doesn't, he doesn't come in. He doesn't care if he's playing Isaiah Stevens, if he's playing, Grant Sherfield. I mean, that's the beauty of him. And I knew that when we recruited him, because he had visited a really good friend of mine at Northwest Missouri State, who's won about 5 of the last 6 Division II national championships. He had him in on a visit. He has the best point guard in the country. That'll probably be a future NBA player in Trevor Hudgens. And he went in that gym on his visit and basically said, "This is my gym." And so you got to love his irrational confidence, but that's also the reason why he's going to be a really good player. But thought we did a really good job, with Sherfield and Cambridge. Gave up a few offensive rebounds there in the second half that I'm not thrilled about, but just thought that our collective spirit and our collective effort, and challenged Graham after the CSU game, for him to focus more on what really matters and not getting caught up in the things that he can't control. And I thought he did a really good job of that tonight, and you can really see it in terms of what he did on the glass. I mean, for him to have 15 offense, 15 rebounds, 6 offensive, and just to dominate the game the way he did. That says a lot, because I challenged him pretty well yesterday. So with that being said, what do you guys have?
Hey, Jeff, all 5 starters had at least 8 points. How big is it just having everyone, especially, that some of the supporting cast, hit their groove right here as you inch closer to that conference tournament?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously know. I mean, we need everybody, and and a lot of that too is my doing, and kind of how we've gotten to this point, and playing the way we've played offensively, playing through Maldo, playing through Graham, but knowing too, we have to loosen some things up, and you have to do some things a little bit differently, adjusting to what other teams are doing. And I thought, today, we came out, played a little bit faster, played a little bit freer, and and that's how we practice all in the summertime. We're not running plays in the summertime. I mean, and in the fall, I mean, we're just playing in space, playing out of concepts, understanding how to manipulate space, and understanding how to attack coverages, And so it's nothing new. I mean, we had about 5,000 possessions of 5-on-5 over the course of those 4 or 5 months. And so our guys know what to do. It's just a matter of me kind of letting them go a little bit. And I thought they responded.
You mentioned Noah's contribution. That also allowed Maldo to only play around 30 minutes, I think. Very efficient game. How big of a boost is that just to keep his legs fresh, given what's coming up in 48 hours here?
Yeah, no, and Maldo got in foul trouble too. That played a little part of it, but we know too that especially in the case of San Diego State, some of these other teams that you're going to get up and try to pressure you a little bit. You need another ball handler on the floor, and so and that's where with Noah he can give Maldo a break, and he's really good in the ball screen. And then you have Graham, who at the 5 spot. I mean, he can bring it up and basically be your point center if he needs to be. So just to have that extra ball handler, and I thought X played with a lot more. He looked like the X of last year, where he had a lot more confidence. He was just moving right, wasn't overthinking things. And I thought he played a really good game.
Coach, what can you say about Ducell and what he did to Sherfield today? Really held him in check.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily, because they set so many ball screens. It's more, it's a collective effort. I mean, it's the guy on the ball, but then it's also, the big who has to be able to get up and impact the ball and not let Sherfield come off and dictate the terms. And I thought if you dictate, and I thought we did a good job. Early on, I didn't think we did a good job. I mean, we weren't up high enough. The big wasn't, but I thought as the game went on, we did a good job. And then those guys behind the ball, being able to shrink the floor and doing their job in order for the big to, have the confidence to know that if he gets up, when you got a guy like Warren Washington rolling to the rim, I mean, that poses a lot of problems if you're not shrinking behind the ball. And so I thought our guys, not just X, not just Noah, not just the guys that were guarding Sherfield. I mean, it was a team effort.
Did you guys do a lot of prep for the original San Diego State game before it was postponed, or were you just in the middle of the COVID surge and didn't really get into it yet?
Yeah, I mean, we got into it a little bit, but that seems like 8 months ago. And so, I mean, it's one of those deals where it's this time of year. I mean, they're going to do what they do. We're going to do what we do. I mean, there's no tricks. We know that who they're going to try to get the ball to. They know who we're going to try to get the ball to. It's just comes down to, who can get the most stops and who can make some shots.
Hey, Jeff, Mark Ziegler here. Here come your tough questions.
Wait.
Now, you last year after the 2 games at San Diego State, you spoke very passionately and at length about their program and how far you needed to come as a program and how much you wanted to emulate them. Why is it that you felt like San Diego State was the program that you were so passionate about trying to emulate?
Well, I mean, being that I've been in the league a long time and had a lot of battles with them when I was at Boise State, I mean, I just, they're the standard. I mean, until you knock them off, until somebody knocks them off the top on a consistent basis. I mean, they've earned the right to be that team. And the thing that I really respect about Coach Dutcher and his staff is, and I think if you watch us and you watch my staff, is that we hold our players accountable. I mean, not just probably behind the scenes, but you'll see in the games where those guys. I mean, a guy makes a mistake from a defensive standpoint. I mean, they're going to hear about it. I mean, if they want to, guys don't want to act the right way, they're going to hear about it, and they're going to be held accountable. And that's why they've had such a sustained success that they've had, is that level of accountability and the players knowing that from a defensive standpoint, that's how you have that sustained success and you win championships. And I said they do a great job. And after they embarrassed us twice. Now, luckily in the conference tournament, I wised up a little bit, but we knew that that for our guys, especially a young team like I had, and I thanked Coach Dutcher after that first game. It was like, I'm going to be able to use that film for the next 6 to 9 months to show our guys, like, this is what it feels like to play a top 5 defensive team in the country and a top 25 team in the country. And until you see that, or until you feel that, you don't know. And so for our guys to know that, and to know that from a defensive standpoint, for us to change the narrative and change the perspective of our team from last year, our guys knew that it had to come from the defensive end. And, when you have a guy like Graham, who now is not off, that's had an off season to where he's not, coming off where he's just off ACL injury and he's not in the greatest shape. And, he provides such a presence. And then, those other guys, they've all stepped up. And so in a long-winded answer, I said we have a ton of respect for those guys. And hopefully, as I said, it'll be a great college basketball game on Monday night.
The only other thing I have is, you played them twice last year. They beat you pretty good. You get them in the conference tournament. You get really close, but you don't win. And now you got to wait an entire season to play them again. How big of a deal is this for your guys, knowing how much you've talked about San Diego State to them and how close they came in the conference tournament this year, and then having to wait that whole year? How big of a deal is this now to finally get a shot at them?
No, yeah, for our guys, it's coaches speak and it's cliche, but for us, the next game is the biggest game. And, it happens to be San Diego State. And, that our guys, I think the experience that we had last year, not just at San Diego State, but to play them the way we did at, during the conference tournament, I think that helps the cause. But, last year and this year are two completely different years. We're way different. They're different. It's just a matter of now, on a quick turnaround, which stings for all of us, but that's just the nature of COVID and the scheduling. But, just looking for, an opportunity to see where we're at, and knowing that you got to take one possession at a time. And we know that, they'll expose you, and hopefully, and you got to find ways to counter some of the things that they do really well.
I lied. I had one other quick one. They're only going to play 17 conference games. Should they be playing 18 games? Or are you okay with the fact that they're missing their game at New Mexico?
Yeah, no, based off of what's been, no comment.
No comment?
No comment. I can't, with what's going on, right? We've just, I said, only thing I can control is the 18 games I'm playing. And I'm sure those guys, if they, they had to play 18, they'd want to play 18. So I don't think those guys aren't dodging anybody. I know that. It just happens to be what the schedule is. And I just know this. We have a gauntlet here, having Colorado State turn around, having to play Nevada, and now I have to go to, play San Diego State, turn around, play UNLV with the one-day turnaround. It is what it is.